Back on CBS Sports HQ as we take a look at your AFC playoff picture following this Thursday nighter with plenty in it. The Chargers now equal footing with the Broncos, both teams at 9-6. The Chargers playoff percentage now sitting at 97%. They would have to truly step in it with some others taking care of business to find themselves on the outside looking in when it really counts. A massive win here over the Broncos that has a little breathing room in LA. Back with the guys, Emory Hunt, Bryant, McFadden, here to explore some of what this night meant. And I think maybe most notably lost in all that we saw here from a play-to-play standpoint was this is a quality win for the Los Angeles Chargers, something that resume lacked. I know there's no committee here. Your resume is what it is, but just their second win over a team that was 500 or better, and a win now over a playoff caliber team. What did this do in terms of that locker room feeling like when it does come playoff time, that they can be more than a team that's just there?
It goes a long way because that's what we talked about pre-game show when we were talking about them having a 7-1 record versus teams with under 500 record and 1-5 with teams over 500. This was a team-defining win in terms of like the narrative. They got a great win over a team with a winning record, a team that's looking to be in the postseason, a game that the Chargers theoretically would have lost before, but this year is different under Jim Harbaugh. They're beating teams that they're supposed to beat, and now we saw tonight them beat a team that they were on equal footing with in a game that was sort of like a playoff game. So kudos to the Chargers for overcoming themselves, coming back in the ball game, winning with toughness, winning with assertiveness. We saw the toughness from the quarterback who became a decisive runner. We saw the run game kick up. Gus Edwards had that key 43-yard jaunt, made a guy missing the hole and outran him for a big gain. And we saw defense really step up and close out a ball game against a team in Denver that was playing with house money coming into this matchup.
And I'll say this was the best win for the Chargers so far this season, right? And the reason why I say that, to most of the points you hit on, they had issues beating above 500 teams. The Broncos came into tonight's matchup winning 4 straight. Thriving, playing really, really inspired football. The last few outings for the Chargers didn't really look good. They lost the last 2. The one they won did not look convincing, in my opinion. But you look at the offense, they played against a very, very stout, aggressive defense, put up 30-plus points. You look at the Chargers' defense, got off to a slow start, made them necessary adjustments, found a way to claw back into this ball game. And to your point, Emory, they closed the ball game out for the Chargers, and they gave their quarterback extra possessions. And don't forget, they were down double digits twice in this ball game. So for me, this was the best performance that we've watched from the Chargers throughout their successful year in year 1 with Coach Harbaugh. And clearly this should boost the morale of their team and boost the confidence, because I still have my concerns with the lack of playmakers. But one thing this team is, they're well prepared and they know how to execute. And finally, they will not beat themselves. That is winning football.
Seemingly trading one for the other. It was a team with plenty of talent prior that couldn't get out of their own way. Now doing all the little things to make sure they're in the place that they need to be. Maybe, as you said, a little talent deficient in certain spaces, but another Harbaugh turnaround looks like it is here with that playoff percentage well into the 90s. As for the Broncos, you said house money. Might be checking those pockets because you're looking at a team that now has to go to Cincinnati and then play Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs Week 18 at home. I hate to break it to you, you better get that one against Cincinnati. Here's a look at the road ahead. Denver can't be feeling too good about this opportunity squandered here, Emory. Odds still say that they're going to be a playoff team, but there are paths for others now following this loss. With a youth at multiple positions, including the quarterback position, what is the message to this team to right the ship so you don't start looking too far out in front of those skis?
Do your job, play your 111, and you can have success in these next 2 games, because that's what it's going to take. Because you're right, the Broncos lost tonight, gave the Bengals new life. So that game next week against Cincinnati is going to feel like a playoff game for Cincinnati, and it should feel like a playoff game for the Denver Broncos. And after that, you're going to get Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs trying to put the Broncos out of the postseason. But look at this matchup for the Bengals. This is their path to the playoffs. And it all starts with them trying to win out, which starts with them trying to beat the Broncos next week. Now, the Broncos will have all of the pressure going into the Queen City to try to get that win against a Bengals team that now has new life.
And just to go a little deeper here on those bottom 2 bullet points, the Colts need to lose 1 more game. Their road ahead, Titans, Giants, Jags. The Dolphins, they need to lose 1 more. They've got the Niners, they've got the Browns, and they've got the Jets. Final 3 games there. Bengals also need to win out. Obviously, as you said, Emory, going to have a head-to-head. The Broncos got to lose that head-to-head and a game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Mac, Bengals are feeling a whole different way following this game, no?
No question. No question. Most importantly for Cincinnati, they're in playoff mode right now. It's like March Madness in the NFL for the Cincinnati Bengals. You win, you keep going. You lose, you go home. And it starts this week with the Cleveland Browns. And the thing about Cincinnati, they already understood their situation in terms of playoff hopes. But watching tonight's game, they will go into the facility tomorrow with a little extra pep in their step. They will go into the facility tomorrow feeling highly motivated, more motivated than what they felt today because they knew they needed help. Guess what? You got the help you needed. Now you go take care of your business. And next week, all the chips are in the middle of the table. And because of the lackluster performance by the Broncos sleeping at the wheel, they have provided hope and life for an offense. This was an offense in Cincinnati, guys. Let's keep it real. They were already outstanding with nothing to play for. Just imagine how good they're going to look when they got something to play for as a team. These guys were just, let's keep it real, they were playing for individual accolades because their season looked like it was going down the drain. But now it's up. Is floating around, and they got life. So I don't want to know what Joe Burrow is going to look like when he still believes I can get into the playoffs. I don't know what Jamar Chase, he might have a new grill. I don't know what he is going to look like knowing that, man, we got hope. And if they beat the Cleveland Browns Sunday, Denver, you do not want to go into what you say, the Queen City? In Cincy? Right. You don't want to go there having to win against that wide receivers, quarterback, and everything else they have in place. Because one thing we know about Cincinnati, they can score offense when they are playing for nothing. They can score points with that offense. But when they're playing for something, it might be a whole nother level.
According to our friends at FanDuel, shorter than a 5-1 proposition for Cincinnati to make the playoffs. The plot has thickened following these 30 minutes of football to end Thursday night. Bryant, McFadden, Emory Hunt. It's always money with my guys. Thank you, fellas. Oh, we got a weekend ahead. Implications everywhere you look. Yes, the Bengals must take care of business. That'll be the Browns and I believe Dorian Thompson-Robinson, if I'm not mistaken. Rams and Jets, Titans and Colts also rounding out the 1 Eastern offering on CBS. And then in the 425, Josh Allen's MVP campaign continues. You can catch it all on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.